The most powerful rules in Japan are often the ones nobody has to say out loud. Do not make the room uncomfortable. Do not arrive in a way that creates extra work for everyone else. Notice what is expected before someone asks. Control the reaction that could make a hard moment heavier. From the outside, this looks like personality. People see quiet trains, orderly streets, punctual routines, careful service, and calm behavior under pressure. They assume Japanese people are simply more disciplined. But that explanation is too easy. A person can look calm because calmness is expected. They can look patient because showing frustration would push discomfort onto others. They can appear prepared because being unprepared would make someone else carry the cost. The visible behavior is individual. The invisible rule is social. And that is why the rule is powerful. Nobody has to follow you around. Nobody has to keep correcting you. The rule works best when you begin correcting yourself before anyone else notices. That can create trust, precision, and stability, but it can also hide the cost. What happens when you become so good at protecting the room that nobody notices what the room is costing you? The answer begins with a small shift in attention. Before asking what you feel, you learn to notice what the situation requires. The outside world often mistakes politeness for softness. But in many Japanese settings, politeness is not only about being nice, it is social calculation. You notice the timing. You read the atmosphere. You think about how your words will land before deciding whether they need to be spoken. The hidden rule is simple. Your reaction does not belong only to you. Your anger changes the room. Your lateness changes someone else's schedule. Your lack of preparation becomes another person's problem. A public complaint can force everyone nearby to manage tension they did not create, so the calm person may not feel calm. The quiet person may have more to say. The person who apologizes quickly may not believe they are wrong. They may simply understand that restoring the situation can matter more than winning the argument. This is where outsiders misunderstand the system. They see self-control and assume inner peace. They see harmony and assume agreement. But harmony does not always mean people feel the same. Sometimes it means they know which feelings should not control the moment. Once that rule becomes automatic, you stop waiting for society to correct you. You begin predicting the correction in advance. That is where manners become training. Not repairing friction, but preventing yourself from creating it. The deepest form of discipline is not doing what you are told. It is noticing what is needed before anyone tells you. You arrive early because arriving on time leaves no room for the unexpected. You prepare carefully because one mistake can travel beyond you. You watch how others behave because the situation is giving instructions. Slowly, responsibility becomes anticipation. The goal is to complete your role. The goal is to prevent your role from becoming a burden on the group. That is why organized systems can look effortless. The preparation disappears. The restraint disappears. The choices that prevent delay, confusion, or inconvenience disappear. People only see the result. But the same habit can turn inward when you are trained to notice every mistake. The mind becomes good at scanning for what could go wrong. When you are taught not to burden others, asking for help can feel worse than carrying the problem alone. A rule designed to create reliability can quietly become a rule against being difficult. A rule meant to protect the group can make personal needs feel like interruptions. Do not merely solve the problem, prevent yourself from becoming the problem. The system succeeds when you stop asking, "Will I be punished?" You start asking, "What will everyone think if I become the reason this stops working?" The danger of an invisible rule is that nobody knows when you are obeying it too much. The worker stays longer because leaving first feels uncomfortable. The student stays silent because asking a question might slow everyone down. The family member says everything is fine because telling the truth would create worry. Nothing dramatic happens. That is why the cost is easy to miss. The meeting continues. The work gets finished. The family stays peaceful. The public face remains controlled. From the outside, the system looks successful, but the person begins living a double life. There is the role they perform and the reality they carry privately. There is the answer that keeps the room comfortable and the answer they never say. This does not mean every Japanese person lives this way. The same rule that creates consideration can become pressure when there is no safe moment to stop performing it. The trap is not politeness. The trap begins when disturbing the peace feels more dangerous than living without honesty. They are not simply reading the room, they are disappearing inside it. And this is where the story stops being only about Japan. Every culture has rules that can shrink a life. The real question is whether life has started serving the rule. The real lesson is not that Japanese people discovered the perfect way to live, nor discipline, politeness, or harmony. Secretly bad behavior makes more sense when you stop looking only at personality and start looking at what the environment rewards. People repeat what creates belonging. They hide what creates friction. They become skilled at whatever quietly earns approval. In one society, the rule may be, do not burden the group. In another, never look weak. Stay productive, keep everyone happy, choose the safe path. Do not disappoint the family. Different culture. Same mechanism. The rule becomes dangerous when you forget it is a rule. Then obedience feels like personality. Pressure feels like responsibility. Self-erasure feels like maturity. These hidden rules matter because they expose something universal, not because they explain every Japanese person. The systems controlling your life are rarely announced. The strongest become your own voice. The trap was never that the rule had no value. The trap was forgetting that a useful rule can become a cage. So ask what blind obedience never allows. Is this rule protecting my life, or is my life now protecting the rule?